Good evening, good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this evening? My name is Tony M. Toomer. For those of you that do not know me, come on in to the dinner table. I would like for those of you that do not know me to come in and sit down by the brothers and sisters that normally be here at the dinner table. We have plenty of good food for the soul, and I want to share that with you. And I know my other brothers and sisters don't mind if I share this good soul food with you. I hope that you all had a good day today. Me, myself, my brother and sister, I had an excellent, blessed, a day of excellency. I was blessed and I had a good twist of serenity. So come on in, come on in. If this is your first time looking at this particular broadcast or sharing dinner with us, allow me to tell you somewhat what I'm about. I'm about talking about relationships. Do I know all the answers to a relationship? No, I do not. But I do know who knows all the answers about a relationship, and that is God. When I say God, my brother and sister, I talk about God through his son Jesus Christ, know all about relationship because God is the creator of everything and everyone. God is the one that created what is called a relationship. God first had a relationship with a man, Adam, and he secondly had a relationship with a woman, Eve, and he brought the man and the woman together. And in the presence of God, the man, Adam, said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I should call a woman because she came from man. That's the position that I come from the book of Genesis. That's the position that I come from. Now, if you have another point of view about a relationship, God gave you a free will to exercise. But if you're sitting at the dinner table, I'm telling you where I come from. I come from the position of the book of Genesis, how God created the man and he created the woman. With that said, my brother and sister, go ahead and look over the menu. I will give you a little time to look over the menu so you can see what's on it. And what's on the menu, the main course for tonight is God knew that a man needed him and a good woman. Again, when you look at the menu for tonight, the main course is God knew that a man needed him and a good woman. Now, song was, and by the way, my brothers and sisters, I'm on two channels. And when I said two channels, I'm on the book and I'm on the tube. Those of you that are on the tube, I may make some comments to those that are on the book. You may not see their comments, but I will call out their name and say basically what they put in the comment section, okay? And on the flip side, those of you on the book, I may make a comment to those that are on the tube. You may not see their comments, but I will call out their name and also tell you what comment they made. When you come to this dinner table, my brother and sister, you are welcome, welcome, welcome. This is for my brothers and sisters. When I say brothers and sisters, I'm not only talking about my skin complexion. I'm talking about any man or any woman that believes in God through his son, Jesus Christ. With that said, we're about to get into tonight's dinner. How you doing, Sister Pam Pam from Dallas, Texas? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the dinner table. Now, as you all looked over the menu for tonight, you see the main course. God knew that a man needed him and a good woman. So let's get out the appetizer first. How you doing, Sister Sherry Ismail? Welcome to the dinner table. And how you doing, Sister Linda Scott? Welcome to the dinner table. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, the appetizer. When we go to the appetizer, we go to God's word as it is written in the book of Psalms 84:11. That's Psalms 84:11. Psalms 84. That's the book of Psalm 84, and the verse is 11. And it is written, "For the Lord God is a sun and a shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly." Anything that's good, God is not going to hold it back. Speaking of good, brothers, there are some good women out there. All women aren't bad, okay? How you doing, Sister Tia? Welcome to the dinner table. All women aren't bad. Now there are some men out there that like to take pop shots at women, like some women like to take pot shots at some men. So, sister, there's not all men aren't dogs, okay? And brothers, all women aren't a garden tool, okay? So, with that said, there are some men's brothers. There are some men, sister, that would say that a man don't need a woman. And some of you have heard this kind of philosophy going on, that there's actually some men that say that they don't need no woman, that a man don't need a woman in their life. And there's some men that doesn't see the importance of a woman. But that's what we're going to get into at the dinner table tonight. Now I'm going to tell you this, my brothers and sisters. Um, the most important decision in a man's life are two things. The two most important decisions. That is a man relationship with God's Son Jesus Christ. That's the first and foremost important decision a man has to make. Because you got to deal with Jesus. You're going to either deal with Jesus now, before you die, or before he come, or you're going to have to deal with him on the back end. You don't want to deal with Jesus on the back end. Okay. So that's the most important decision that a man must make. The second most important decision that a man must make is who he is going to get married to. That's the second most important decision that a man will make. Now, some people say, I can understand the first thing you said, Tony, about a man that have to decide what he's going to do with God's Son Jesus, but that second one, I don't quite agree with you on that. So you're gonna have to give me some uh something solid so I could chew on it and see where you're coming from. I'm glad that you think that way, some of you brothers and sisters. Now, I'm going to tell you this like I have said several times, my brothers. I have said this thing several times. I have said this, that a man can really know, as well as a woman, whether or not he or she can get married. And this is based on a flesh standpoint. This is fleshly, okay? Because most men and most women, they live in the flesh. So if you want, before we get to the spiritual part, which is the most important part, and the soul, just based on the flesh, men, brethren, if you have a sexual desire for a woman, I don't know how plain I can get on this, but if you have sexual thoughts or desire for a woman, that in itself, the basic, is telling you that you were made to share your life with a woman. And that's just as simple as it can get. If you have a desire for a woman, a real desire for a woman, brother, that in itself, God is telling you on a flesh standpoint that you was made to be in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship with a good woman. And a good woman is a woman that God will handpick for you if you ask him to do it. Okay? That's a key thing. Now, since this is one of the most important, the second most important thoughts that a man would be front with, we're going to talk about three parts, okay? We're gonna get into three parts of what I'm talking about. Now, number one, we need to understand something about a woman. We need to really understand something about a woman. By the way, there's not one man, and I have said it before, there's not one man that fully understands the ways of a woman. On the flip side of the coin, there's not one woman that understands the ways of a man, but we're focusing on the woman. If a man say he knows everything about a woman, that man, mark that man, and he is a liar. And you can spell it in all caps letter. He is a liar. There's not one man that was born to a woman that understand the complexities of a woman. The only man that ever lived and walked on this earth for 33 years is Jesus himself, because Jesus was 100% man and he was 100% God. He's the only one that understands the complexity and the makeup of a woman. How is it that Jesus have all this information? Because if you don't notice, my brother and sister, the Bible clearly say that everything in the invisible world and the physical world was created and made by Jesus, and all things exist based on Jesus. So Jesus is the architect, the designer of the world, and he's the architect and designer of a woman. When we go all the way back to the book of Genesis, when God caused his sleep to come over the man Adam, he did a major operation on Adam. What? And he did an operation on Adam where he didn't need no prophesol or whatever you call that stuff that put you to sleep. However, it said God caused a deep sleep to come on Adam. And when he caused this deep sleep to come on Adam, he opened up his side. And when he opened up his side, he grabbed out a rib. He closed the flesh of Adam up, and with that bone, he created a woman. 'Cause as you know, the man was created from the dust of the ground, right? But the woman, she came out of the man. Now, let me tell you that this what I'm about to tell you, this is some deep stuff, my brother. So let me tell you this. A woman and a man is equal when you look at it from a spiritual standpoint. Listen to me carefully. Don't let me lose you, okay? Every man, from a spiritual standpoint, a man and a woman is a spiritual being. You got to understand this. A man and woman made out of three components: the spirit, the soul, and the body. The body is what carry us around. Okay, the body is what carry us around. Just like you get in your car and your car doesn't move until you cause the car to move. Okay, when you put the key in the car and you get the steering wheel, put your foot on the gas, you the one who caused the car to move. That's the same thing. You brother and you sister, you live or you encased inside a body which is called the flesh. But deeper than that, your spirit. Let me tell you this, my brother and sister. A spirit has no gender. Listen to me carefully. A spirit has no gender. No gender. Your soul, my brother, and your soul, my sister, God created in a man and a woman's soul to somewhat relate to the world as a male and a female. Let me tell you this. When God created Adam and he called this deep sleep to come over Eve, let me tell you what he did. Before he did all of that, let me tell you what the Lord did. He caused all the animals to come towards Adam. And when he caused all the animals to come towards Adam, the Lord allowed Adam to call the animals everything, any kind of name Adam gave the animals, that's what it was. God allowed Adam to do that. God didn't choose the name of animals. He did. So let me tell you what Adam discovered. What Adam discovered is when he named all the beasts on the field, the fowls of the air, which are the birds, and all the animals, Adam seen that each animal had a certain type of flesh, okay? But it was a male and a female, but they had different flesh, okay? So when God got the rib out of Adam and he fashioned the woman after Adam, he presented the woman to the man. That's why Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call her woman because she came from man. Now, let me tell you this. Don't you know, my brothers and sisters, that the woman came out of the man? A woman is actually a man with a womb. You understand? A woman is a man with a womb. She came out of the man. That's why Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I shall call a woman because she came out of man. That's why when you see W-O, then you see the other part of it. It said M-A-N. It said womb man. What is a womb? It don't mean that she got hurt in a war or anything. Like, a wound is the vaginal area of a woman. That's what make a woman basically a woman. She has a womb. That's why Adam called her a womb man. You understand? She is a womb man. And let me tell you this. When God brought this into this creation toward Adam, he understood that she had some similarity as he. Adam could relate to her on a level that he could not relate to the animals and the birds of the air, okay? And it was a way that he was going to be able to relate to the woman that he was not going to relate to God. Because remember, the broad at the dinner table tonight, we're saying God knew that a man needed him and a good woman. Going back before the Lord created Eve, Adam and the Lord had a unique relationship. Before a woman was created, they had a very unique relationship. And they had a very unique relationship in the Garden of Eden. How you doing, Sister Flo? Welcome to the dinner table. So the Garden of Eden was the meeting place of God and the man. That's the meeting place. That means the Garden of Eden, the garden or the Garden of Eden mean in the presence of the Lord. How you doing, Sister Michelle Bear? Michelle said, just the title is true. A man that doesn't need a woman is a eunuch. A eunuch had no desire for sex. Amen, sister. You're right on point, Sister Michelle. Now, in part, majority of the men are created for a woman. And the Bible clearly say that a man was not created for a woman, but the woman was created for the man. It doesn't mean that a woman was created for every man. She was created for a certain man. You got to understand it. She was created for a certain man. So remember what I said earlier. A woman and a man, they're equal. They don't have no gender when you look at it from a spiritual standpoint. I'm going to give you a reason why I say that, because Jesus even alluded to it too. You see, angels, when you read the book, it will say it will use the gender he. It never referred to angels as she. For whatever reason, God, when it comes to angel, most of the time if an angel ever appeared to someone, it basically would be in the male gender. You understand? In the male gender. That's right, Sister Michelle. A woman is created for a certain man. Now, when God brought Eve to Adam, Adam called her a woman. He didn't call her nothing else. You got to keep in mind now, she came out of the man. So therefore, she's a man that has a womb. And she got a different body structure, but she have the same type of flesh. The same exact type of flesh. That's point number one. Number two, before the woman was supposed to help the man, God knew that him and Adam had a unique relationship that no relationship could surpass that relationship. Adam had everything in the Lord. He had everything. However, that was not the end of the story. As you know, my brother and sister, the last thing that God created, how you doing, Sister Demetria, is welcome to the dinner table, is the woman. When you look in Genesis, the woman was the last created being, a thing that God created. As a matter of fact, when God created a woman, before he created a woman, God is the one that is quoted as saying, "It is not good for man to be alone." And I have said it before, I'm going to say it again. There's this song that was out, and you all have heard it before. All I need is King Jesus, and I don't need no one else. You have heard that song before, have you not, my brother and sister? That's a nice song, and we need the Lord. However, in Adam's perfect state, he was perfect before he fell. God is the one that said it's not good for man to be alone. You see, Adam was not lonely. You see, people get that mixed up, the word lonely and alone. You see, when you are lonely, you in a form of depression. Adam was not depressed. He would not walk around sad or hopeless or not like that, because he did have a unique relationship with God from a spiritual standpoint. Remember, Adam was a spiritual being first. When God created Adam, he got the dirt and he formed it, but he was not there yet. He formed the man out of dirt. The dirt that you walk on, my brother and sister, the dirt that you see when you get in the bathtub. And I want you, brother and sister, just look at it like this. Whenever you see dirt in your bathtub or whatever, it's just the truth. That's what we are. We are dirt. Our body is dirt, and it's going to return back from where it came. But you see, the spirit and the soul live on. Okay? The spirit and the soul lives on. Now, when God created Adam and he brought Eve to Adam, and Adam identified her as she had the same flesh I do. Remember, God said it's not good for man to be alone. So when he brought the woman to Adam, and Adam said she's a, he called her a woman. God did not say nothing. He let Adam do the talking. And you see, Adam had that type of wisdom to be able to name the woman. Whatever Adam named anything in creation, that's what it was. Okay, so when God brought Eve to Adam, it was for Adam needed help. God gave Adam a duty to cultivate the ground. He gave Adam a purpose. He gave Adam responsibilities. He gave Adam even a boundary. And you all know what the boundary was: not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Everything that God told Adam, he was to relate it to Eve. And I'm going to tell you how we know that he related some stuff to Eve. Because when Eve was in a conversation with Satan, she the one who told Satan about this particular fruit that she was not supposed to eat. Where did she get that from? She got it from Adam. Adam related to her. And you see, when God brought Eve to Adam, she was to help him in his purpose that God gave him. So, brothers, before you need a man, The Bible didn't say you need a man. It say a woman. Even though she got different makeup, you see, when men look at it from a physical strength standpoint, you see, a woman is more than just physical strength. Women have some things in them that can help a man, because a man, he is complete. A woman is complete when they have the Lord in their life. However, when a woman come into a man's life, she's coming in and he needs to have a plan. He needs to have a purpose. So when God bring a good woman to a man, God handpick a woman and he bring the woman to a man. He already gave the man a purpose and he gave the man a gift. So when God bring the right woman into the picture, she is all about what we going to do. That's what she want to know. What we going to do. She is ready to move. You see, a woman, she is an incubator. She is an incubator. Listen to this. A woman is an incubator. If a man tell a woman a word, she could come up with a sentence. She add to it. She could come up with a sentence. If he come up with a complete sentence, a woman could write a book, because a woman multiply whatever a man give to her. That's the strength of a woman. Men have seeds. What do I mean, seeds? And I'm not talking about Johnny Appleseed. I'm talking about what we call sperms, right? A man give a woman a sperm. What does she do? She's an incubator. So what she does, when the seed is planted inside the woman, she gives the man a child. She multiplies. Anything a man gives to a woman, she multiplies it. You got to understand it. She multiplies everything. That's why it's vital when a woman come into a man's life, bro. You need to know what type of woman is in your life, because she is a helpmeet. That's what God called a woman. She's a helpmeet. Every woman that comes into a man's life is not a helpmeet. You see, a helpmeet is an asset to a man's life, not a liability. And that, brother, that's why you have to exercise all your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding, and discernment, because you got to understand the woman that coming to you. See, Satan gonna bring you a liability. He's gonna bring you a woman that wants to extract from you. She's not coming with a plan to help you. She's coming to she's coming to tear down whatever God gave you, because she's a daughter of Satan. God's daughter, she's coming in to help you in whatever you need or whatever you're going to achieve, because when you look at the book of Ecclesiastes, it say two are better than one. Now, the only way a man doesn't need a woman, like Sister Michelle Berry said, is a eunuch. They don't have no desire for a woman. So a eunuch, you won't see a eunuch going around they want to date a woman. They don't have no desire for a woman. They really don't. But majority of men have a desire for a woman. Number three, a woman, and what I was alluding to, a woman will add to a man's life. Don't you know, my brothers and sisters, most married men, they live longer than single men. You know why? Because most men, they are so stressful and they keep stuff bottled in. But when a man have a good woman, not only does the man talk to God, he has somebody that he can relate his dreams, his hopes, his disappointment, and everything in this woman. And you see, a woman, if a man have a good woman, she will bear the burden. Like the man would bear the burden of the woman, she would bear the burden of the man. Michelle said, "You're right, sir. A good woman brings out the best in their husband." That's right. And you see, that's what you got to understand. When God bring you a good woman, brother, he did not bring you a woman to share headship with. You see, you call that a freak, you call that a monster. If you see a person walking down the street with two heads, that's going to get your attention. If you see someone that got two heads, you talking about they want to put that person in the circus and all that kind of stuff because it's an oddity. It's not really a natural phenomenon, okay? You see, in the structure of the home, a good woman, she knows the place of a man and she knows the place of herself. A good woman knows that a man is not superior to her. Her man, she know that he's not superior to her. She knows that he has a different role and function than she does. When a woman submits to a man, it's indirectly. What she's doing first, she is submitting to God, Son Jesus first. And when she submit to God, Son Jesus first, that's directly, but it's indirectly for the man. Because the man submits to the Lord. Now, the man needs the Lord for everything. Everything. That's why and God knew it. Let me tell you what God knew. When we go back beyond, when we go to the book of Genesis and we read throughout God's word, God knows everything. God knows that a man can. Jesus even said this when he was down here. I am the vine. You are the branch. You cannot do nothing without me. That's what Jesus said. I'm the vine. Ye are the branch. You can't do nothing without me. No man or no woman can do nothing without the Lord. The Lord did not make a man to live on an island by himself. The Lord was not the one that came up with Gilligan, okay? God created a man to have fellowship with other people, but primarily a woman than a man. It's not natural for God did not bring two men together. That's not a God's doing. God did not bring two females together. That's not a God's doing. It's documented in the book of Genesis. Whenever you see, no, it take a man and a woman to produce children. It take both to produce children. Two of the same genders cannot produce children how God wanted to be. Shikam boss said, Jesus Lord. Okay. I'm gonna have to take this person out because this person is clowning and this person is being somewhat disrespectful to you all first, my brothers and sisters. And this person will not be a part of the broadcast. Let me see. Okay, that person can, let me see something. All righty. Still trying to get it. Hold on, my brothers and sisters. Anyway, my brothers and sisters, back to what I was about to say. When God brought the woman with the man needed the woman. He needed the woman and not a man. A woman doesn't need a woman. She needs a man. That's why she was created for a man. You understand? Now, God knew before he created a man. When God said, and when it was a conversation that took place, and the conversation between God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. So it was not no surprise. Remember, everything that God created, the man was the next to the last that God created. Everything was already created before God created man. And the woman was the cherry on top of the pie when he created the woman. You understand? The woman was the cherry on top of the pie. So it's something special about a woman. Do you not realize, my brother and sister, the first person to see Jesus when he rose from the dead was a woman? Jesus did not appear in front of nobody else. He appeared in front of a woman. As a matter of fact, do you not realize this, my brother, the importance of the female gender? The church is pictured as the female because the church is pictured as the bride of Christ. Now, someone would say, well, are you saying that men in the church are women? No, it's not like that. You got to understand what I'm saying. From a spiritual standpoint, my brother, from a spiritual standpoint, my sister, the church is used as an illustration of the female gender when it comes to a relationship with Christ. Because when Christ bring a man and a woman together, that's a glimpse of how a man and a woman supposed to be when they're living their life. Because that's the closest to the Bible some people are going to understand when they behold a good relationship between a man and a woman. Because the man's supposed to represent Christ and the woman's supposed to represent the church. The man's supposed to love his wife and the wife's supposed to respect and follow her husband. That's in essence what all of us supposed to do. We supposed to follow Christ. You understand? So the Lord, going back to that scripture that I read in Psalms 84:11, it said, for the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. If a man delight in the Lord, and the man have a desire, a man have a whole bunch of desire, but if a man have the right type of desire and find the Lord, and he have a desire, if he delight in the Lord and he have a desire, especially for a woman, the Lord going to see it. And in his time, he's going to orchestrate for him to bring one of his daughters and give it to one of his sons. God knew that a man needed him, and God also knew that a man needed a good woman. And back to what I alluded to earlier, single men don't appear to be. Let me tell you about a single man. Most of the time, single men, if they have a desire for a woman, they're going to get tired of hanging around their boys. And they want to see something from another source. You can go so far with another man. Another man cannot give you what a woman could give you, brothers. So, you know why a woman is so important? Without a woman, everyone that listening to me right now would not be here today. Everybody that listens to me now came from a woman, a womb man. Everybody came. Women have contributed to our world in so many facets. From a spiritual standpoint, there are two women that the one is the book of Ruth and the book of Esther. God seemed fit to add those two women life story in his book. So it's not all about men, it's about women too. As you know, my brother, as you know, my sister, when you look at Mary, Jesus' mother according to God's word. If you notice this, he sent the angels to talk to Mary first before he even talked to Joseph. That's what he did. He went to a woman first and talked to her before he talked to Joseph. And going back to the resurrection, who did the Lord talk to first? He talked to another woman. Her name happened to be Mary. Her name was Mary Magdalene. He talked to her first. Women have an important part. Even Apostle Paul, when Paul did some of his writing, he referred to some women. Women have an important part in God's kingdom because women are nurturers, women are encouragers. When you have a team of women and they are following the Lord, brother, you can advance your cause. Whatever the Lord do, you can advance your cause, but it takes one good woman to help you to build an empire. And you see, brothers, the Lord gave you your purpose. He gave you your gift. And when this woman come into your life, she will add to your purpose. And what a lot of good women do, that the man might be out in the front, but the woman is instrumental in the background of whatever that man is doing. Case in point, when you all see me doing my live talking to you, you better believe majority of the time before I come out and talk to you all live, I run it past my wife. I said, what do you think about what I'm going to talk about? She'll tell me that seemed like a good topic. Or she'll say, well, you need to tweak this or you need to tweak that. So even though you all don't see Cinderella on this broadcast, you see me most of the time, but most of the time, some of the stuff that I talk to you all about, I have ran it by the Lord first, and I have ran it by my wife secondly. So she knows a lot about what I'm going to talk about before I talk to you, because I run it by her. I don't just come out here. I pray to the Lord, and not only do I pray to the Lord, I will run it to her, by her, and she'll let me know whether or not, hey, I think you need to change this or not. And you see, as a matter of fact, my brothers and sisters, it's a lot of things that I run by my wife, but I know I have to make the final decision. I run a whole bunch of things by my wife because she comes with a different perspective and she have a different makeup than I do. But she leave it to me to make the final decision. Whatever decision I make, she gonna go up or down with my decision. So, brother, you need, or God will bring you a good woman. That's the key. You have to have a good woman. You cannot have any woman. You can't, I'm just telling you, bro, you cannot. And that's why, let me tell you this, and I'm not talking to you sisters, I'm talking about worldly women. Now, some of you sisters right now, you may not be in a relationship right now. Don't worry about it. If you have a desire for a man, the Lord will cause the right man to find you. Now, I'm talking about a lot of women of the world now. A lot of women of the world, they are running after men. They want a man. But when they're running after men and want a man, they're not running and searching for a man to be a part of that man's purpose and to multiply his gift. They're not there. Most worldly women, they're looking to extract something from a man. Most worldly women are about me, myself, and I. And brothers, you need to be aware of what type of women you're dealing with. That's why it's very critical, brothers. You cannot go by how a woman look. You cannot go by how a woman shape. You cannot go by that. You got to go by what she say and what she does. And you have to put it on that invisible scale. You have to weigh her words and her action. Brother, you do not need a woman that don't believe in God, Son, Jesus first. That's the first requirement. Does she believe in God, Son, Jesus first, or she does not? That's what you got to understand. Does she or does she not? And you would know because God is going to show you. He's going to show you, brother. So, and that's why a whole bunch of you brothers, I'm talking to you now. A lot of you, brother, you are feeling miserable because you have gotten into a relationship with a woman based on how she looked and how she shaped. You seen some red flags of this woman before you said I do. Some of you, brother, you subconsciously thought that she was gonna naturally become that godly woman. Nope. But you done put yourself in a mess and she's pulling you back. You can't share your hope and dreams with these worldly women because all they're gonna do is pull you back. They might even talk you out of your purpose that God gave you. If God put something in you, a dream, and He wanted you to build something, you got this woman that's gonna come and talk negative about what you're doing. And what she would do, she would praise someone else other than you. And it could be another man doing the same thing, but she will get audience to another man than you. That's why you need support, brother, from a godly woman. Let me tell you something. If God bring you a godly woman, she may not look like a movie star. She may not be shaped like uh some of these women 36, 24, 36. She may not be that way. But you see, it's it's important, but it's not that important. Now I know even godly men, you want an attractive woman to look at. It's nothing wrong with that. But you can't get hooked up on how she looked and how she's shaped. What about her character? That's what you got to look at, brother. What about that woman character? Is that woman going to be the one that's going to be there when nobody else is there for you? That's what you got to look at. Now, if God sprinkles some attractiveness on that woman, there's nothing wrong with it. How you doing, Brother Mola? Welcome to the dinner table. Brother Mola said, but what if she does all that of a godly woman, yet still show and do the action of a worldly woman? Okay, well, she that's a corner like woman. She trying to play both sides of the fence. And let me tell you that Jesus don't like even when a man or woman play both sides of the fence. Because Jesus said in the book of Revelation when he was talking to this specific church, Jesus said, I would rather for you to be hot or cold. You understand? Hot or cold. Because Jesus said, I don't want you to be lukewarm, because Jesus will spit you out. And that's how a man's supposed to be when it comes to a woman. She's going to be hot or cold. You don't get, some of you guys, you don't get with no woman that iffy. Don't get with no woman that if she going to have to be consistent. God only bring a woman to you that's consistent. And God will let you know, all you brothers out there, God will let you know because you're going to see those traits early in a relationship. And the key thing is, like I tell sister too, the key thing is to ask God, is this the woman that He wants you to be with? Because it's going to be all kinds of women coming in front of your eye, brother, because we are attractive to what we see with our eyes. Even godly men are attracted to what they see with their eyes, but we got to go beyond the eyes. We have to grow up, brothers, and we got to be mature and stuff. And you all heard that saying before, all that glitter isn't gold. Okay. There's a lot of fake gold out there and a lot of fake silver out there. That just how some women are. You got some fake women, they look good and stuff like that. And they are, but they got some issues on the inside. You brothers, you need a godly woman. I'm telling you, only godly women. You think that you missing out on something, brother, because these women look good, flashy, and they seem like they got it going on and stuff like that. A lot of these women, bro, let me tell you, a lot of these worldly women, when they get by themselves, they are lonely. Not alone, they are lonely. That's why you guys and some of you sisters, you godly sisters, that's why you see a whole bunch of women. The only thing they like to do is be flashy and show their bodies on social media. You all know I'm big on talk about stuff like that. They show their bodies and stuff on social media. They show their body and stuff in the public because they got some internal thing that going on the inside of them. You right, Sister Michelle. Are you a carnal-minded Christian or believer? Yes, right. So, my brothers and sisters, you got to understand this. A whole lot of women, worldly women that is, they look like they're having a good time, but they're not. A whole lot of women, when they be in their cluster, they group with their women. One of the things that a lot of these group of women talk about are men. Most of the time, they talk about men. Most of the time, a cluster of women, they're not in a good relationship with. If you have 5 women, and I'm being generous, if you have 5 women, it may be 1 or 2 that have a somewhat good relationship with a man. All 5 of them are not. That it's going to be more that don't have a good relationship with man than them that are. Let me tell you something, you godly sister. Let me tell you this. Be careful of the company that you keep, my godly sister. You got to be very careful hanging with those worldly women. You trying to follow the Lord, and you have a desire to be in a relationship. You cannot be companions with those worldly women, because guess what? You're going to lose the battle. You think you're going to lead them to the Lord, right? More than likely, they're going to lead you somewhere else, because they're going to put pressure on you. You don't have to be no little girl to feel pressure. Women put pressure on grown women. Grown men put pressure on grown men. But those worldly women, my sister, they will cause you to go astray. God can have the right man that's ready to knock on your door, and then you listen to the word of women, and then they take you down another direction. The Bible clearly say, it talk about being with, if you hang with wise people or men, I'm paraphrasing it, you will be wise. But if you hang with fools, you're going to be a fool. So you got to choose. Are you going to be wise, or are you going to be a fool? Sister, if you hanging with other women, you need to hang with Christian women. Those worldly women, just because they be all out there and sing like they having a good time and stuff, they ain't having no good time, because in the end, when they go home and they're not around their girl, they are lonely. And they be front a lot of time. They front so much. They sing, when you see a cluster of their worldly women together, it seems like they having the time of their life. When you see a cluster of women, they going here and there and all that kind of stuff, and they taking pictures like they happy and stuff. Majority of them are not happy. They fronting. You got to look past it. And then there are some single worldly women. They like to show you, like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. All they looking for is attention. That's all they doing. When the attention, they need to get the Lord's attention. And when they get the Lord's attention, and if they have a desire for a man, the Lord will give them the desire of their heart. But they're not going to get a godly man. They're going to get a scrub, as TLC. They're going to get a scrub. Michelle say, Flo said, amen. Be careful of the company you keep in. Sister Michelle say, godly woman will encourage you to pray and encourage your husband and anyone around you. Not to condemn or put anyone down. That's right. Brothers, when you get a good woman, you, brother, are going to have peace of mind. I know it firsthand, brother. I have experienced, I have walked down that road several times. I could tell the difference of being with a worldly woman and a godly woman. Most of the women that I used to date, they were worldly women. And a lot of them played church. A lot of them did play church. So, Brother Mulder, a lot of those worldly women that I used to go out with, they used to play, some of them, they used to act like they into God, but then once they jump around the worship service and stuff, do double monkey backflips and all that kind of stuff. Then when they get out of worship, they a whole nother thing. I got caught up in that stuff. when I was younger, I got caught up in that stuff. So as the Lord kept me from really going astray and messing myself up, he had to pull me out. The Lord had to intervene, my brothers. He and sisters, he had to intervene and pull me away from those worldly women. And most of the worldly women that I have dealt with, guess what? Most of them still by themselves. And I'm 61 years old, and most of them still by themselves. That's right, Brother Mo. Brother Mo said that's the term I was looking for, playing church. A whole lot of them, they be playing church, but they are not in the Lord. And guess what? I seen it. You know what? I seen it, and I put myself in it. I blame myself. I seen it. Oh yeah, they look good and shaped and all that kind of stuff. But when you get tired of that stuff. You get tired of the looking good. You get tired of the shape, because guess what? They're advancing in years, and some of the women that I used to date during that time, they was on top of it. But when I look at them now, it's a whole change. So that's why I tell you, brothers, don't get mixed. Don't prioritize how a woman look and how she shaped. You got to look on the inside of the woman. And a lot of us men and a lot of women, we are guilty of going by what someone look like, how they shape, and what they have. I'm one of the guilty ones, I must admit it. And a lot of you have done the same thing. But when you get into the Lord going to let you know that a lot of that stuff is superficial. Michelle said, true peace comes from Jesus. Peace and joy come from the inside. That's right. So, bro, let me tell you, one of the main things you're going to get from a woman that God brings to you, she's going to bring peace. You know why she's going to bring peace? Because she has the Lord in her. You're going to notice this, brother. You're not going to have that many disagreement. You're going to have some disagreement, but you're not going to have a whole lot of disagreement. You're not going to get a woman, brother, that got to get the last word in. You see, the thing about worldly women and women that of God, worldly women, they got to get the last word. They pride themselves on getting the last word. A godly woman, she use wisdom. She know when to pull back. You see, a godly woman, she don't cause you brothers to run after her. A godly woman is not about games. A godly woman will let you know her position. You ain't got to guess with no godly woman. They don't have you to jump through hoops, brothers. When you're dealing with a godly woman, they don't have you jumping through a lot of hoops, trying to impress them and stuff like that, trying to get in your pocket, trying to make you pay their bills, trying to make you do all that kind of stuff. Because let me tell you something, they will test you. Worldly women are good at testing you. Worldly women gonna test you, brothers. They're gonna test you. They're gonna test you. They're gonna test you. And once they test you, brother, and then they extract some things from you, and then a light bulb gonna go off in your head, and you're gonna try to pull back. And when you pull back, they're gonna drop you. Or you're gonna notice they don't want you. They don't want to talk to you. As long as you were doing something for those worldly women, they're gonna answer the phone. As long as you were doing something for those worldly women, they're gonna answer the text. But when you start pulling back and they're not getting what they're accustomed to, they're gonna pull away. Now, a godly woman, she's not like that. A godly woman comes to you, she wants to know, look, we in this together. It's gonna be us, we, and our. That's how godly women come in. It's all about godly women, brothers. The best woman a man can get is a godly woman. That's the best woman you can get. You see, a godly woman, she is priceless. She is a Proverbs 31 woman. She is priceless. You cannot compare nothing to a godly woman. And let me tell you this, brother, when you get a godly woman and you look back at your past, you're gonna say that to yourself. I've been wasting a whole lot of time. I learned from the old bad experience, but I wasted a whole lot of time. And when you get a godly woman, brother, you going to want to do a whole lot of things for her. I'm telling you, that's right, Sister Shara, Proverbs 31. When you are, and that's right, Michelle, the Bible said pray for wisdom. We need that wisdom, brother, to be able to tell the right woman that brought to us, okay? So it's so much I could say about a good woman. God knew that a man needed him. We need the Lord, brothers. We need the Lord, brother, because why do we need God? We need God because he created us for a purpose. And the reason why God created us, brother, is to help bring the world to his son, Jesus. That's what God the Father wanted to do. He wanted his son, Jesus, to live in us so he could use us to bring the world to him, because the Lord is not willing that no one should perish, no, not one. So why does he give us a good woman? To help us, brother. You don't have to be a preacher. You don't have to be an elder. You don't have to be a deacon. But whatever God puts you at in your life, and you know if you have a desire for a woman, brother, if you know you have desire, pray to God to cause you to find the right woman. And when he calls you to find the right woman, that's not saying you got to run after no one. You ain't got to do all that kind of stuff. God gonna use life circumstance, and he's gonna plant that woman right in your face some kind of way. And you're gonna know it. You going to know it. And when you know the right woman, brother, you going to be ready to get committed to her. I mean, you're going to be serious about her. You're going to commit to her. And then you going to lead the conversation about let's get married. You ain't got to say when, you're going to say, let's get married. A.L. Green had a song out a long time ago, let's get married today. And you're not gonna know everything about the woman that God bring to you, brother. She's not gonna know everything that's about you. You're gonna grow together. You're gonna grow in love. You don't fall in love, you grow in love. And if you have the Lord as the foundation, my brother, God gonna bring both of you up. And the more he bring both of you all up, you're going to merge more spiritually. You're going to be merged more of the soul, and you're going to be merging more with the flesh. Brother, you and that woman, y'all could be out in public somewhere, and you all would know one another so much that you could look at each other and you could know what he or she thinking. Because you're going to be learning one another. You're going to be, when you get with a godly woman, brother, you're going to be thinking about her all the time. After the Lord, you're going to be thinking about that woman all the time. What can I do to cause her heart to smile? Because she does so much for me. When the Lord bring a godly woman to your life, brother, she's going to do a whole lot of stuff for you. You don't have to ask a godly woman, because godly women, they know how to do stuff just like that. They're not lazy. Godly women are not lazy. Godly women don't look for a handout. Godly women don't look for a man to take care of them. Godly women look at a man like, we're going to take care of one another. You see, the thing about a man supposed to provide for his household. Yes, he's supposed to provide for his household. But the Lord also give a woman to help. She's a helpmeet or a helpmate. She is helping. He didn't bring a woman into your life, brother, for her not to do nothing but hold her hand. Not no. When she coming to your life, she coming to help. That's what a helpmate is. She is coming to help. Whatever Lord put you at, she's coming to help you. All she have to do is know the plan. All she need to know what direction we're going to go in. All she want to do is be a part of it, and you will see that whatever you give to her, that incubator, she's going to multiply. Good women multiply. Always remember that, brother. A good woman multiplies. She is an asset. Even if you have disagreement, my brother, you and her have a disagreement. You might get PO'd at her, or she may get PO'd at you, but you're not going to be thinking about, I'm finna get a divorce from her, because you're going to be thinking about all the other stuff that she have done before that. And when you have a good woman, brother, let me tell you this. This is the difference between worldly women, immature worldly women, and mature women, godly women. Immature women, when you have a disagreement, they don't want to talk. They don't want you to touch them. You know, like if you married to them, if you touch them, when you want to hug them, and then you've been hugging them when you go to sleep, they don't want you to touch them. That's worldly women. Godly women, they get beyond that. Even though they might not be feeling the best of you at that time, they still is not going to stop you from touching them. If you ask them a question, they're going to still talk to you. They're not going to get where they antisocial. That's a godly woman. Godly women don't hold grudges. You understand? Godly women do not hold grudges. Godly women, they are there for you. That's all I can say. They just want to walk by your side. My brother and sister, I hope that you enjoyed this conversation at the dinner table tonight. Sister Michelle say that, sir, grow in love, not fall in love. When you fall in love, you can fall out of love. Amen. However, when you grow in love, you are rooted and grounded in the Lord, the foundation of Jesus. I couldn't say it no better. Thank you, Sister Michelle Berry. My brother and sister, if there's anything that you would like to say at this time, you can go ahead and put the word wait down there, ask your question, or make your comment, however you want to do it. But I'm here, brother, and I'm here, sister, for you. Thank you so much for being at the dinner table. You could have been doing something else. That right, Sister Flo, grow in love. You could have been doing something else, but I'm glad that you came to the dinner table. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. Thank you so much for conversating back with me at the dinner table. I really appreciate it. I really do. I like your engagement. I really do, and I appreciate it. Without you, my brother and sister, it will not be no dinner table. It will not be no dinner table, okay? But go ahead and get your carrot plates and put some of the good food for the soul and share with other family members and friends and invite them to the dinner table. Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow evening, okay? Lord willing. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. You all have a good night. Peace out.